Pokémon, the card game we all played when we were kids. But did you know that there is a competitive scene in this? Tens of thousands of players each year battle it out to qualify for the Pokémon World Championships, fighting for the fame, the prize money, and just to have an overall good time. What's amazing is that among the most popular trading card games, Pokémon is widely regarded as the cheapest one to get into. Even the most meta-relevant decks are cheap to build just by buying singles. So what is the most logical and smart thing that people do? They buy singles. And what am I going to do? I'm going to burn money by doing a sealed only challenge. So what is a sealed only challenge? I just recently got the idea for this series from Nim, who did a similar challenge but with Yu-Gi-Oh! Where he used a budget of $40 a week buying only sealed products to build a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck. But instead of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll be doing this challenge for the Pokemon TCG. However, I'm poor, so starting with nothing and instead using only $30 a week, making this an even harder challenge, I will be buying sealed official products to build and improve a competitive deck that I will be taking to tournaments and ultimately aim to qualify for the Pokemon World Championships. And the rules are simple. I can only use cards that I amassed from sealed products, so no buying singles and no trading allowed. So how are we going to start? A year ago, I didn't even think this challenge would be possible. Pokemon is pretty terrible when it comes to releasing sealed products. Every single starter deck that they printed out consists of 98% of competitively unviable cards, but recently, in the last half year, they released new products that are helping new players get into competitive Pokemon in the form of the League Battle decks and the Trainer Toolkits, which contains a plethora of competitively viable cards. Seems like Pokemon is taking a page out of Yu-Gi-Oh! To help newer players get into the competitive scene. And in our case, that will provide us with an excellent start for our journey. No better way to start off our sealed only challenge than buying a Pikarom starter deck. This starter deck contains a bunch of useful items and supporters that are used in the meta currently. It also comes with a playset of Jirachis and a Pikarom core that we can start using to play with. So here we have a booklet, but I can't read, so we'll toss that aside. And I guess this is an instruction manual. I can't read that either, so let's toss that aside as well. So getting into the good stuff, we have our dice set, our GX counter, and our promos. Looking closer at the dice, they're not that bad. Looks pretty nice. Here I have our GX counter with our poison counters and our burn counters. Opening our little deck box. We can see all of our cards. Not sure why the cards aren't organized, but we'll just quickly fan through them. Alrighty then, magic happened and cards are magically sorted. So here we can see we have our Pikaroms, our Raichus, Tapu Koko Prism, a playset of Jirachis, Zapdos, some useless cards that we'll never use, a Professor's Research, our main draw engine, Marnie for Disruption, Erika for more draw power, Malalana for healing, Quick Balls, Electromagnetic Radars, and Pokemon Communications as our search engines, Pokegears as another way of getting more supporters, switches, energy switches, attack switches, 2 reset stamps, ordinary rods, a Rotom Bike, 2 Vitality Bands and an air balloon, and 11 energies to round off the deck. And of course, no deck will be complete without sleeves. So here we're gonna have Dragon Shield sleeves. And boom! I'm the fastest sleever in the world. And here's another quick fan through the deck. Pretty good. It's a solid deck to start off with. Still a bit bricky, but let's see what we can do with it. Here's a overhead preview of the entire deck list. So let's now get to some games. So loading into game 1, we lost the coin flip and we're going first. Pulling mulligans twice, so we get to draw 2 extra cards to start off the game, which is pretty nice to have. Here we're going to quick ball for our Tapu Koko Prism and then P-Calm to get our Pikarom out. Grab a switch, attached for turn, and then we get to play the Rotom Bike, which lets us draw up to 6 cards and end our turn immediately, which is great for us on the first turn because we can't use any supporters and we can attack. Here we see that our opponent is playing Zacian V with ADP. He has an insane turn, but he misses the turn 1 Alter Creation, so that gives us an extra turn to set up and start attacking. Here we just grab our Raichu so that we can attach our energies from Pikarom's attack to. We're just gonna reset stamp him just to make him lose 1 card, and we bring up Pikarom to hit for 150. We're not scared of being knocked out this turn because on his turn he's gonna be trying to do Alter Creation and set himself up for the rest of the game, so we're safe for this turn. So we can see he just does that. He bosses up my Zapdos to slow us down, but we have a switch in hand, so here, I'm going to be switching him to Raichu GX so we can paralyze his Dialga Palkia, which will force him to have a switch in hand in order to start attacking us with Zacian or attacking us with ADP in general. I'm not going to use Professor's Research here because I want to preserve our energy switch cards in case we want to do a 6 energy attack bolt or anything like that. And here we see that he messes up by attaching to ADP, which doesn't make any sense because you need 2 switch cards to attack with ADP in the first place. So he should have attached onto his Zacian. And here you see that he misses the attachment, so we get another turn. So here, we're just going to Professor's Research to get a new hand. So we're trying to find a switch so we can knock out the ADP with Raichu because it's impossible for them to knock out Raichu, but they can one-shot our Pikarom. But we missed the switch, so we're going to just Lightning Ride GX and knock out his ADP to take 3 prizes. And here he bosses ordered. That was also misplay because he should have pulled up the Pikarom to one-shot it. Instead, he pulls up the Raichu thinking it's a bigger threat and just decides to damage it instead. So we can't punish him, so all we're gonna do is smack him for 80. The saving grace is that he can't attack us this turn unless he uses a switch, which he does. But for some reason, he attaches the energy into his bench instead of the detonate, so therefore he can't knock out our lone Raichu. So here we're just gonna use Pikarom to finish it off. And then we kind of checkmate him here because if he kills our Pikarom, we just knock him out with Raichu. And so he just forfeits and we win game 1. Going to game 2, we see we're up against another Zacian V deck, basically the meta deck of this format. And in our opening hand, we have a really good start. We start off Jirachi, and we got the energy on Pikarom and a Tapu Koko on the field. And we're going to E-Radar to get us our last 2 GXs from deck. And we're just going to pass them here, nothing else we can do. Opponent starts off with 2 Acrobikes. Couldn't find a supporter, so he just benches a Duskmane Necrozma and hits us for 60. On our turn, we're going to din out the deck, grab a Jirachi, and hopefully hit a supporter off a Stellar Wish, which we do not. So we grab another quick ball just so we can din the deck 1 more card, switch, and hopefully hit a draw support. This time we didn't hit one, but we found Pokegear, which we grab a Professor's Research with, and draw a very terrible hand filled with energies and no switches. So we're just going to attach and pass again. Pray our opponent still bricks. He throws it up in our Acrobat, could not find supporter, hits us for 60. And from here, we can basically seal out the game. We found our switch, and we're going to attack with the new Pikarom. So we just attach to the undamaged Pikarom, use attack switch to get the Pikarom fully charged up, switch into it, max for 150, and we're going to put all the energies onto the Pikarom so we can just tackle GX, saying if you can't find a supporter, if you can't set up, we win the game. and he draws a card for turn, benches a Mime, and Great catches up our v.II, trying to buy himself more time, but we have the Mallow on us so we can switch, and that's game. So our next game, once again, we're against another Zacian V deck. He gets to go first, and our hand's looking okay. We found a Jirachi. He doesn't do much, but he fully sets up his Zacian V up in one turn to start attacking, and we're a little bit in trouble. So we're gonna quick ball up, get our Pikarom and Professor's Research, but we couldn't find any other cards that we needed. So we're gonna Picom, grab our Tapu Koko Prism Star. I made the mistake of preemptively benching it, but I was just trying to do that so we can drop more cards off the Rotom Bike. But that didn't lead us to any more outs. So he just straight away bosses orders, kills our Tapu Koko Prism. We lose our deck's only form of energy acceleration. So our hand is complete garbage. Luckily for us, we hit a Professor's Research, but our new hand is just as dead as the old one. So we're just gonna attach and pass for this turn. So we can just see him going ham here. He knocks out our Jirachi, and we're just struggling really badly here, but we finally get our Pikarom sales and we can hit him for 120. But looking through the deck, our second copy of Pikarom was prized, as well as our Alolan Raichu. So our only target for full blitzing was on Hoopa, but on second thought, I do believe I should have attached everything onto the Pikarom, but alas, he gets up another Zacian V, sets it up, and proceeds to smack us for 210 damage. Here, we're completely stuck. We have no form of draw power, so I'm just trying to thin the deck out a little bit just so we can hopefully draw to something better. So we're just gonna full blitz, attach one energy to Zapdos, and we're gonna pray for the best. He later reveals he has Caramel Metal, so now we have to worry about full wall GX as a threat. We're very lucky that he misses the energy attachment for turn, so we get one extra turn. So we air cuts for 4 extra cards here, but there's not much we can do, so we're just gonna try to keep our Pikarom alive, so maybe we can tag Bolt later down the line. We bring up Zapdos, Thunder's Assault for 90, and see what happens here. So our opponent misplays here. He places down the Mewtwo to put his boss's order on the top of his deck, but he then plays Professor's Research when he could have just used a Ranguru to grab the boss's order to knock out our Pikarom, but instead he doesn't do that and knocks out our Zapdos. So here I Marnie and knock out his Zacian V, and now he needs to get 2 energies onto the Luke Metal in order to win. Unfortunately for us, he hits the Metal Saucer and has the energy and knocks us out. But it was a really close game, but in the end we lost. So closing thoughts, I'm very surprised we were able to go 2-1 with a starter deck that has no additional cards added to it. It was even more impressive that all 3 games we played today were against the most popular meta deck in the format right now, and we managed to take 2 games from them. Though I do feel that we only managed to win through luck. Our opponent in the first game misplayed multiple times, and our second opponent bricked even after playing 3 acrobikes. Our third match went exactly how I expected most of our matches should have been, where we were unable to keep up with the speed of Zacian V, but we managed to make the game closer than it should have been. We definitely need more draw power in the deck and remove some of the bricks that the deck has, so stay tuned for next week to see what our pulls will get us. Subscribe so you don't miss out. See you then.